Hello, this is Caleb Hartsock, and I will be doing Entertainment Discourse Champion B. I'll just sort of read through all the paragraphs here and note what I noticed for each one as far as errors go. In paragraph 1, I don't see any grammatical issues, but you may want to explain a little bit more on why it would be stereotypical for you to like Mulan. That'll just give a little bit more in-depth exposition. In paragraph 2, I'd keep the tense consistent, so I see stuck and are used in the same paragraph, or in the same sentence. Stuck being past tense, are being present tense. I would switch one or the other, so why it sticks with me, or stuck with me, and why I'd change are to were. Then I think paragraph 2 as well needs just a little bit more elaboration. It's a little bit too vague, and it's also one of those smaller paragraphs. So I would sort of go into some of those more connective tissue, maybe pull from paragraph 4 a little bit. But paragraph 3, sentence 1, I'd throw a comma before because. You could even use parentheses to keep that phrase together, but I think a comma would also suffice. In sentence 2 of paragraph 3, I'd throw a comma before because. For a lot of those conjunctions, we want to make sure that we're still adding commas before them, otherwise you get sort of this strange break in the sentence, or lack thereof. Paragraph 3, sentence 4, I'd throw despite being crippled in between either two commas or parentheses, depending on how you stylistically want to approach that. But it is a detached phrase. It's sort of additional or supplementary, so I'd bracket it off in some way. Paragraph 3, sentence 6, I'd rephrase it. Symbol of crest of the emperor. It's got a lot of prepositions in it, and that sort of makes it sound just a little bit confusing. So maybe not use symbol of as a leading, or as an intro to crest of the emperor, because you could just say that she was awarded crest of the emperor. You don't necessarily need to throw in symbol of. It makes it a little bit more complicated. Paragraph 3, sentence 7, I'd keep the tense consistent, so returned being past tense and shows being present. I'd either do returns and shows, or returned and showed. Paragraph 3, sentence 9, and this one's more of a suggestion than anything. This one's not concrete in any way. But instead of push her boundaries, I've always heard it push past her boundaries, but I'm not 100% on that. I might be incorrect, so do with that what you want. In no way is it grammatically incorrect to leave it as it is, nor is it more correct to throw past. And then paragraph 3 as a whole could go into more explicit detail from the movie, so answer how, what, why for those who have not seen the whole movie. Defeating the enemy, it would be nice to know who that enemy is, or how she defeated that enemy. How and why she doesn't feel like a fit bride. Those sort of things could be nice to add for just a little bit of context. This is expository writing, so it's good to get all those details in. Paragraph 4, sentence 3, I'd rephrase the sentence because it doesn't read super smoothly for the reader, and I'm not sure exactly what caused that confusion, so I just sort of read through it a couple times and maybe try to rephrase it in a way that is a little bit more clear, or a little bit more straightforward. Paragraph 4, sentence 4, there's a triple negative in there, so you use not, cannot, and without. So instead of using those, try turning all of them positive, so could, can, with. That way it is less confusing for the reader. You could even just throw one in there if you needed it, but I'd rephrase it so that you don't use a bunch of negative words back to back to back, because it makes it, you don't know what's being canceled. Paragraph 4, sentence 5, I'd use a comma before and. That's another one of those conjunctions. You want to make sure it's paired with a comma. Paragraph 4, sentence 6, you'd want to throw a comma before when. This one's not a conjunction, but you want that separation. It reads a little bit more clear if it's broken down into two concepts. Paragraph 4, sentence 7, I'd throw a comma after reward. Just reads a little bit smoother as well if you break it down into the different parts. And then paragraph 4, sentence 8, I'd rephrase this sentence. It doesn't read super smooth for the reader, as well as sentence 9. The two in combination are a little bit long. Not sure that it's phrased in the way that's most clear, so I'd look at those one more time. Try to figure out if there's a more direct way that you can say the information that you're trying to get across. Then paragraph 4 as a whole, I think it needs to focus a little bit more on the personal and not so much on Mulan. We already had a paragraph on Mulan, and this one's more about you. We're not trying to see how it relates to you, we're just sort of seeing what you are on your own. Paragraph 2 is a little bit weaker because it claims to be that connective tissue between the personal and the entertainment. But in reality, it looks like paragraph 4 is kind of doing that. So I would either organize it so that paragraph 2 is more about your personal, and then at the end sort of give that connective tissue. But that's just more that structure than anything. I think it might be a little bit easier to digest, or at least seem a little bit more consistent with the topics if you separate personal from Mulan until the very end. And then paragraph 5, sentence 1 is a little redundant. You use favorite Disney princess twice, back to back. So I'd try to rephrase it in a way that you only use it once, or in effect use it twice, but only explicitly write it once. So maybe reference back to it without using the actual words, favorite Disney princess. Paragraph 5, sentence 2, sorry. I'd add a but after the comma, or rephrase it. It feels kind of like a fragment as is. So I'd look at it. I think adding a but would be enough, but you might want to look at it again, just to make sure that there aren't any loose ends. Then paragraph 5, sentence 3, I'd add a comma before because. That's another one of those words that really kind of needs to be paired with a comma in most cases. So I hope that was helpful as far as the grammar goes. As far as the design goes, I'm reading it from my iPad, so I'm not sure exactly how much of this is going to be true to how it's viewed on computer, but the margins were fairly close. It was definitely readable. Nothing was being ripped off the page, but I think because the margins were close, the little scroll bar, you had a little indicator to show which portion of the family or the entertainment discourse we were at. So it had conclusion, it had personal, it had Mulan. As you scroll through, it sort of highlight what section you're in. That was over top the text in some cases. And I think that might be because I'm viewing it on my iPad, and I just sort of merged it all together. But I just preview your site just to make sure that it doesn't do that on the computer. And I can also open it up on the computer when I get to class, just to make sure, and then just give you a heads up whether it does that. But that would be the only thing, really. I like the visuals, having the text on one half while the section on the other half is nice. It makes it very clean. And then also the little picture at the end sort of, it fits. It's very plain. It doesn't just complicate it by it doesn't feel too busy. It's a very clean text, so I appreciate that. But yeah, I'll just check on that section indicator and see if it does the same thing on my iPad as it does on the computer and let you know. But I hope this was helpful. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And then I hope that the redrafting section goes smoothly for you.